our efforts continue even, or I should say, because especially in today's more difficult economic climate, it's not easy to develop new strategies while governments in the world are cutting spends. That is because we continue to believe passionately in the opportunities that the mix of blue and green, water and sustainability will bring to our communities. Like the vast majority of Delta cities, Rotterdam faces two major developments. Firstly, we see the ongoing population. Today, the Delta cities are home to half the world's population. They are therefore the centers of cultural and economic activity. Secondly, the role and influence of water in our cities is changing. Water has always played an essential part in our history and in our prosperity. In Rotterdam, we say the River de Maas brought prosperity. It's water that gives us our ports, our connections with hinterland, and our openness with the international community, and that stimulates also the economic activities. It's water that creates the beauty, variety, and attractiveness of our cities. It makes them what they are today and defines the character. Therefore, we must ensure that this always remains the case, even in the face of climate change, rising sea levels, and swollen rivers. To address these two developments simultaneously, it's a major challenge. Some might see it as a threat, but we in Rotterdam believe in the adage, there are no challenges, but lots of opportunities. We have seized the opportunity to work towards a sustainable climate-proof city with a sustainable world port. The developments offered countless opportunities. There are opportunities for our knowledge sector, the educational and research institutes, and for our entrepreneurs. The challenge is to find new concepts of housing and new ways to protect the city while maintaining its excellent accessibility. The city must not only become more livable, but more attractive in every sense of the word, which is to establish here in Rotterdam will play an important role in this regard if we want to move forward with the economy and the cultural surroundings of our city. We recently invited a big entrepreneur in the world of electronics, and he said to me while dining, if the city of Rotterdam and other cities confronting these sustainability issues do not succeed in making from this issue a new economic opportunity within 4 years, then you will lose the race. And I think he is right. We must also work together as partners, helping each other in every way possible. We must pursue synergy and win-win situations, and we must do so at every level. One striking example is the partnership between the City of Rotterdam and the Knowledge for Climate program. Knowledge for Climate is in itself a shining example of successful cooperation between disciplines and scientific knowledge. A number of fields are doing that nowadays in Rotterdam. Together, the program and the city are able to reconcile scientific insights with the social and political ability in the city. Your Royal Highness, we recently designed 2 booklets in the city of Rotterdam just to show to you and to the audience how important it is to work together. And I would like to deliver these booklets to you. And for all of you, there is a copy available. Thank you.
Thank you very much for these beautiful books, Mr. Mayor, and your encouraging words. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I can't think of a better place to hold this conference than Rotterdam. This is a modern metropolis, where innovative ideas about town planning, architecture, and water have always gone hand in hand. Rotterdam drew up its first water plan in the mid-19th century. The city was being hit by regular outbreaks of cholera, and urgent action was needed. Architect Willem Nicolaas Roos gave the city a new look and room for development by separating the rivers the Schie and the Rotte from the city's waterways and constructing canals, sewers, and water wells. Its location on the estuary of the Rhine and the Meuse has enabled Rotterdam to develop into what it is today, the largest port in the world, outside Asia we mention nowadays, and the gateway to Europe. Rotterdam is truly a water city, famous for its bridges and its architecture. But there is something the average visitor will not notice. Rotterdam could soon face problems as serious as the ones in the 19th century. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the problems faced by every delta in the world. Sea level is rising, so on one side, seawater is trying to find a way in. On the other, water from the rivers is seeking a way out. And river discharge patterns are changing more and more. At the same time, the land is subsiding. While all over the world, urban areas, population, and economic capital are growing rapidly, especially in delta zones. As the mayor mentioned, more than 3 billion people now live in the world's deltas. The impact of climate change is making new demands on the safety, economy, and living environment in these areas. This summer, devastating floods in Pakistan made millions of people homeless. Nearly 2,000 people died. Harvests were lost and vital infrastructure destroyed. It will be a long, long time before normal life returns to the stricken areas. To call this a natural disaster or a climate problem is to deny the influence of mankind. The choices we make increase or reduce our vulnerability. Every time we build a house, construct a road, or plant a tree, we need to consider the impact on our water system. Every one of our plans and projects should take water into account. And Rotterdam is certainly taking water into account. The city has identified the problem of rising water levels and is set to deal with it. Rotterdam now has new ideas and new water plans to protect the city against flooding, to improve quality of life. Plans are already leading to action in the spirit of this hard-working city. And all kinds of projects have taken shape, from redevelopment of harbor areas, water storage on roofs or in underground car parks, to a climate-proof dike. There are even sunken landscape plazas that catch and store rainwater. Again, Rotterdam has rolled its sleeve up and set to work. And that is the main challenge we face here today. The main challenge facing every delta in the world: to take action before we are overcome by the changes that are coming our way. So let us be prepared for the future. I would now like to take a look at the action we need to take. And I'll do this from 3 viewpoints. First, I'll take a close look at the Netherlands. Then I'll focus on other deltas in the world. And finally, I'll take a broader view, looking at how we can rise to the challenges facing the world as a whole. If we take a close look at the low-lying Netherlands, we see a country that has been shaped over the centuries by human hands. We see an interplay between land and water, and we see how the Dutch have battled with water and developed, thanks to water. With the completion of the Delta project, the Netherlands never have been safer. Not a single life has been lost since the floods in 1953. That is something to be proud of, but there's no reason to sit back and relax. In the past few years, the Water Advisory Committee, which I chair, has given a number of recommendations concerning water safety in the Netherlands. It has called for safety policy to be updated and existing safety norms to be enforced. It has also stressed the need to secure short and long-term funding and the importance of good water governance.